I was in Starbucks. First of all, I don't know why I keep going back to Starbucks. We agree it's bad coffee, right? Like, it's not good. I know. I keep going. Okay, well, girl, get out. Who is dedicated to Starbucks like that? Who is like, I love Starbucks? This is how people react to Starbucks in New York City. I have to take a shit. Where's Starbucks? That's Starbucks in the city. If you like that kind of coffee, then you've not had good coffee. Where are you from? San Francisco. The San Francisco treat. Girl, you know better. I mean, have the gays taught you nothing? Oh my God, there's not one fucking Italian in San Francisco. Oh, it's so annoying. I hate Starbucks, and they're not even baristas. It's not like a real job. You know what I mean? A barista. I've never walked into Starbucks and they're like, "Buongiorno, Matteo. Cosa dovresti bere oggi? Un cappuccino? Aspetta, fresco." It's that. So. Oh, and also one time, so I went to Starbucks once and I was wearing fake glasses. They had no lenses in them, but like, I was feeling myself. And I walked up to the employee at Starbucks and I was like, "Hi, I'll have like an Americano." And she didn't even type. She just looked at me and she goes, "Your glasses don't have any lenses in them." Oh, okay. What was I going to say? Oh my God, you're right. I thought this was a Sbarro. Like,
welcome to Queerguru TV. And I'm happy we met you at last because we missed you last year. And you're about to come back to the Pilgrim House in Provincetown to perform your new show. And it looks like, I don't know if you're watching, they're going to be sellouts as well. The first night's already sold out.
Yeah, so if you want tickets, get them now.
I know. We know you from Netflix comedy lineup, which we love. And not just because we also hate Ohio like you. But what can we expect to see here?
Just me sort of making pasta, eating, sleeping. I'm just reenacting the pandemic for the show.
you are. But you take what I like, you take a great pleasure in throwing shade, not just at yourself, but also at the Starbucks poor staff. I mean, aren't you worried about the repercussions of them spitting in your latte for the next few years?
No, because I make my own coffee. Also, I really, we only as comics are allowed to release so much material because we can't keep releasing it because we have to save it for others. It's like our currency essentially. So, until I get an hour special, there's a lot of material that I just have to hold on to. So the material that I have, was able to do on TV or whatever, it does seem to be very pointed towards Starbucks. Which I don't really mind Starbucks. It's just I've had these experiences at Starbucks, which I think a lot of other people have, where they mistake your name or whatever. But yeah, I really, it does. If you've only seen my material on YouTube, it would seem that I seem like I have a vendetta against Starbucks, and I really don't. I don't mind Starbucks. Yeah.
You have a really fascinating journey as to how you got to where you are now. Opera singer, oil painter, skateboard artist.
Did you say skateboard artist?
You do some kind of skateboard? I read that wrong.
No, it's storyboard, but I wish I could.
I like the skateboard better.
Can you imagine if I was a skateboard artist? I wouldn't even know where that fits in with opera and painting.
If you had to do it all over again, would you be happy to do the same journey?
Yeah, you make it sound like I'm on my deathbed and I'm talking about my life's regrets, like I'm singing Frank Sinatra's My Way. Well, I don't know, everything seemed to sort of happen organically, I suppose. So if I was going to relive it again, I would probably dress better.
You would? Yeah.
Certain TV appearances I did, I look back, I'm like, what was I don't know. It's like looking at a high school yearbook picture, like, what was I doing?
But you're one of the few openly gay comedians that made it to the mainstream. You've got constant performances on the Late Night Show. Was it really tough for you to break through like that?
I think I started comedy at a really good time in the sense that I had seen openly gay comics like James Adomian or Frank Liotti or Jim David, Mario Cantone. So I felt inspired enough. Well, also there's no way I could hide it. I've got such gay voice. I'm like super flamboyant. Like I could never walk on stage like my girlfriend. Like it just would never work. Yeah. So I was either gonna do it as myself or not. But I truly, in the comedy world, starting in Chicago and going to New York, had a very warm experience. People were very excited to hear about my life as a gay man, and it was different. And I had a good time.
You've never encountered hostility?
That's also a larger conversation about the industry and people's perception of you and stereotypes and not believing that gay people can be, is, you know, there's that. But I would say overall, I would say my experience as a comedian has been a pretty I've had a really good experience so far. And I think I used to do, before I was better known, you know, gay audiences were not so warm to gay comics.
Yeah.
But that's really changed. I think seeing comedians like Joel Kim Booster, Solomon Giorgio, Julio Torres, Tim Dillon, I think audiences have really opened up. And now I do shows where it's like primarily gay men at my show or queer people. And it's a nice turnaround and a really warm feeling.
But you are being slightly immodest, because I know that The Advocate recognized you in 2018 as a, was it a disruptor and an innovator? So you were pushing the boat a little bit in the time. You won't agree with that?
When you're in the trenches, I think the interpretation of what I'm doing is very different than the outside world. So I think maybe from your perception, it looks like I'm like grabbing my sword and cutting through. But really, all I'm doing is getting on planes, waiting in long lines to go on stage and just chatting with other comedians. And hopefully your work speaks for itself. And I think once people start realizing that being gay, your humor transcends your sexuality, even though I'm very proud of being gay, but anyone can laugh at it, that work will sort of shut out all the other stuff and sort of help guide you to your path.
But even if it's subtle, your work, you do come over as an activist of sort as well, which is important to us.
I think so. I mean, I think it's important to see representation. I mean, I've gotten messages from people that I've come out of the closet because I saw you on TV, or, you know, you're the first gay person I saw doing stand-up. And because of that, you know, but so, you know, you get a lot of really warm messages, which are honestly very overwhelming. I almost respond better to the negative critiques of people. Well, because it's like I can't accept myself, like I can't love myself. So if I see 100 people say how wonderful I am, if one person says they don't like it, I'll sort of focus on that. So I have a lot more work and therapy to do.
What's it going to be like coming back to PTown, having a live audience after all this time?
Well, I've been doing live shows now since April. I'm back, and it's just been incredible. I really had a great time in PTown. I'd only been to PTown once, and it was when I performed at the Pilgrim House, but I was there for 2 days. And I just felt like a kid. I was like riding bikes and going to the beach. And I'm like, no wonder John Waters loves this place so much. Like it also didn't have like the pressure that some places can have when it's all gay, where it's like, you got to look perfect and go to the right club and be with the right people. It just felt like so relaxed and like, whatever, get some ice cream and go look at some shitty art and enjoy yourself, you know? So I had a great time. I really enjoyed PTown. I'm very excited to go back just to get a bike.
Just to get a bike. And how did you find the audiences here?
Warm, wonderful. Actually, at those audiences, it was the first time. I don't, now because of COVID, I'm not talking to audiences afterwards. Like I'm not doing meet and greet. I'm just, come on, what are we doing here? And last time I did do a meet and greet, and I had a lot of mature gay men will come up to me and say, I've never seen an openly gay man do comedy before. They were shocked.
Yeah.
I was really taken aback by that, because a lot of the shows I'm doing are in New York, and it's at the Cellar, and it tends to be like, you know, 20, 30-year-olds coming out late, 1 a.m., blah, blah, blah. So to do these shows where it's primarily, you know, queer people in their 50s and 60s, you know, you're like, oh yeah, maybe, you know, maybe they just haven't been exposed to gay comedy like that. You know, it's like you know, and it's not to say that there hasn't been gay comics. Like Brad Loakley, who's amazing, has been doing comedy for so long, but I think that there has been a bit of a glass ceiling for gay or queer men doing comedy, because it just, on a larger scale, like we've not been represented the same way as Ellen DeGeneres or Wanda Sykes or Margaret Cho or Rosie O'Donnell or Judy Gold, or, you know, like the list kind of goes on. We're still trying to get to that point. So that felt good.
Welcome back. Have a good run. As I say, we're going to put your details up after this, but First night we see is already sold out.
Yes.
So thank you for talking to us today.
Sure, no problem.
Can we talk about really fake jobs and not forget Starbucks? Fakest job in the world, a pharmacist. Pharmacist. Why are you wearing a lab coat? There is no science happening back there. There's no chemistry. You're not in Jurassic Park. You're not creating new dinosaurs. You're in the lowest form of drag. And also, am I wrong? Welcome to the stage, pharmacist. You know, it's just so annoying. And one time I was bitching about pharmacists, and then this woman stood up, and of course I was in Ohio, and she was like, I went to 6 years of pharmacy school. I was like, what did you do for 6 years in pharmacy school? Did you just put on a lab coat, and then your teacher's like, all right, everyone. How many pills do you see? So embarrassing. Red, how are you? You're doing great? Yeah. Have you played for anyone tonight? Yeah, like played music with people? Any singer? No, nothing? All right, should we write a song together? All right. You're welcome, I'm so cultured. You can just play any kind of jazzy tune. I'll think of something.